Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Alex Bonilla.
Hello.
Yes, newscaster voice for our annual San Diego Comic-Con Animation News Roundup podcast, where we will be giving you everything that you need to know about all the animation news from this year's San Diego Comic-Con. Even if you haven't seen anything, or if you have seen something, we're going to be quickly running through a bunch of animated shows, what was revealed in their panels, what do you need to know about it. We have it all covered here, so this is your place to get caught up on all the latest news. We're going to be focusing on particularly shows we cover on this podcast, but we're also going to be talking about new shows and other stuff we don't cover, maybe a little bit more towards the end. If find us at overlyanimated.com, our iTunes overlyanimated.com/iTunes, and our YouTube is youtube.com/overlyanimated. So we're going to give the news, a little bit of commentary. San Diego Comic-Con was this weekend from, Thursday to Sunday today. So that if there's any Sunday stuff, we're recording this Sunday morning, so we haven't heard it. I also apologize if we missed anything. There's a ton of panels and shows and stuff, and this is even just animation, but there's still a lot of stuff. But we have a lot of news to talk about, and I think, as usual, we're going to start here with Steven Universe, Alex.
Yes, San Diego Comic-Con is usually one of the few consistent places we can expect news on this show from.
Only place to expect news from?
Here, maybe New York Comic-Con. Sometimes they let go an episode over there, but usually it's San Diego. And this year we finally got the trailer for the movie that was announced in last year's Comic-Con. It's been a whole year, but we finally got a trailer for it. We got a release date, which will be September 2nd at 6 p.m. I presume that's Eastern time, but
So it's airing on Cartoon Network proper.
Yeah, it's gonna be a TV movie. It was talked about that this is gonna be a time skip situation where Steven we're now 2 years in the future. The trailer is like he's coming back to Earth. We get a better view of the villain, a lot more of the new gems going around. There's also the premiere of a new song performed by Estelle, a True Kind of Love. So that'll be a Garnet song in the movie. So very, very hype, and just nice to finally get some more movie news a year out from its announcement.
Yeah, the Steven Universe movie only a little bit more than a month away. I think that was the earliest possible that it basically could have been when they said fall. It's like, it'll be the end of November or something, right? But no, it's coming up pretty soon here, and the trailer's really good, so make sure you check out the trailer. I also really like True Kind of Love, the new song that they performed, and it's also out on Spotify and stuff. Steven's also there at the end of that song, but it's mostly Garnet. And I think if the highlights from the trailer, I think there's Connie's kissing Steven. That's what everyone's talking about. Yeah. There's also the new villain, but whatever, right?
Very cartoony. More. And I think just the fact that the stakes in that trailer are placed very high. It's the end of organic life. It's okay, so we're keeping up the seriousness of this while still dealing with a villain that's kind of cackling like a classic villain, but also looks pretty goofy. It's right in the sweet spot of a villain for this kind of show.
Yeah, I was digging what we saw of her so far, but definitely check out the trailer, and not too long before the movie, so very excited about that. Rick and Morty is actually something that we're going to talk about on this podcast for the first time in a long time. As previously announced, the show is coming back in November of this year, so not too far away either. But we got a little bit more details at Comic-Con, not too much. There's going to be 10 episodes this season. They've been referring to it as a batch, which I assume just means a season, but they have this giant episode order, so they're going to be they promised that the wait will be not as long between the next season, which
they've ascended so much that seasons are now just batches to them.
I guess so. I mean, originally I was like, are they just dropping them all at once? Which I assume not, but that's weird that the guest stars. We got stills from it on Entertainment Weekly, and guest stars including Taika Waititi, Sam Neill, Paul Giamatti, and Kathleen Turner. And then most importantly, I think, is if you check the Rick and Morty Twitter, there's a clip from this upcoming season 4, which is actually really funny, highlighted by the ominous beeping app at the end of it to ruin the punchline. But yeah, it's actually very promising, I think, that clip. Very much looking forward to Rick and Morty returning in November for 10 episodes. Yeah, not too much there, but how about She-Ra, Alex?
Well, She-Ra, we've got the trailer for season 3, which is coming out also first week of August, right? I think that's when it's coming out. So we got the trailer, more appearances of Huntera with Gina Davis's new character. Also from the panel, they apparently aired other clips that we, the public, don't have access to, but there's been reported it's like more talk about Adora's origins. There's also been talk about a new villain, Tung Lashore, voiced by Jake Everly. On the side, Mattel finally announced their doll line, which I think had been rumored for a while. So basically just, getting us hyped for new She-Ra coming in a couple of weeks. Finally getting a trailer is a good thing. So yeah, just excited to see where that goes. Other than the trailer, I think that was the big news coming out of that.
Yeah, I'd check out the trailer's really good. Check that out. For me, my only real big takeaway other than the trailer was this news that Catra is headed to the Crimson. If you don't watch the show, this doesn't mean anything. Catra is headed to the Crimson Waste when we'd speculated that she might be on sent to Beast Island. So that was a little swerve in terms of my direction of where the season was going. But yeah, apparently Catra and Scorpia are going to also be in the Crimson Waste at some point this season. So I'm interested to see how we get to that point, if that's right away or whatever. Miraculous Ladybug had a panel. A lot of the English voice actors were there, and there's really not a lot here. They showed a full episode of an upcoming. There's actually a Miraculous Ladybug episode that was completed for them to show at Comic-Con that was not aired in some random country before. I don't know how that happened, but they showed Ikari Goes In. There's a terrible recording of it if you want to watch it's not even the full episode. I recommend you do not do that and just wait for it to air somewhere. I'm sure it will before long. But they did show a full episode, and Christina Vee was dressed up as Adult Ladybug. It's pretty cool if you want to check out pictures of that. And most importantly, my biggest takeaway from all of Comic-Con is that they announced that all the 4 Ladybug characters now have Instagram accounts, in-character roleplay official Instagram accounts, and it's basically the greatest thing ever, and you need to go follow them. And, if you want links, it's somewhere on our Twitter at OVA Podcast, but honestly, it's really great. I'm so into it. But yeah, that's it for Ladybug.
Which of the 4? It's Alia, Chloe, Marinette, and Adrian, right?
Yes.
Which of the 4 is the best account to follow so far?
I love Chloe's the most so far, but they're all in character. So Adrian's terrible at Instagram, and then Marinette too, and Alia's got the whole blog thing going. So I think it depends on your tastes.
I can't wait for Marinette to accidentally leak a Ladybug episode on her Instagram.
That'd actually be great marketing. Okay, how about Infinity Train?
If you listen to Over the Animated, you may have noticed we released a podcast last night, which talked about the premiere of Infinity Train, because they put it up on YouTube stream, and then later that night they put it up on their app, so we have the first episode out. Yesterday, also before that, they had put out a new trailer for the show set to Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train, which is very on the nose. And just a reminder, man, the first week of August is going to be packed, because also Infinity Train is premiering on TV August 5th, and we're going to have the first 5 episodes come out then. So Infinity Train, if you listen to our podcast from last night about our hype for it, so not really news necessarily, but just the fact that it finally exists is great.
Yeah, just go watch the first episode. It's on the Cartoon Network app. I believe it's unlocked, so you can watch it even if you're not logged in. So just watch the first episode. Also check out the trailer, because it's very funny. It's that Crazy Train is playing on the trailer. I love it. But yeah, we talked about this on the podcast. There's an incredible first episode. Even if you have not heard of Infinity Train before, which you probably have, just go watch the episode. Dragon Prince. So this was the award for most confusing news of the.
Yes,
so
you need to break this down.
I have clarification, which I only learned by going to Aaron Haas's Twitter and looking at his replies. But so the main thing with the Dragon Prince is that we did not get a date for the upcoming season 3. We did not get a trailer. That's the biggest news. So that's the biggest thing to note, is that no date. So you're not really missing anything. The most substantial thing we learned is that the upcoming book 3 is called Sun, and then book 4 is going to be called Earth. So we have the names of the next 2 seasons. Really, those don't matter. They just have the subtitles. But then, they also showed a clip from season 3, which we do not have online, but apparently it involves Sol Regum, our favorite, and some new dark mage. So it's probably set in the past. But yeah, it was hype for Sol Regum. Oh yeah. And so here's the confusing part. So they were like basically giving their entire their Bible for the direction of where the Dragon Prince property is going. They showed like a giant timeline of the show, and then they showed this very confusing thing, which is like, here's the next 7 seasons of the Dragon Prince. It's actually going to be 3 series. We're in series 1 right now, which ends this upcoming season. Then series 2 will have a subtitle that we don't know yet, and then series 3 will be called completely something else. And so, of course, I think me included, everyone was like, oh, I didn't expect the adventures of Callum, Rayla, and Ezrin to end after this upcoming season. That is not the case. As Aaron said on Twitter, all the characters will be the same throughout all 3 series. So basically, this is a meaningless distinction, and ignore it. It's just 7 seasons of the Dragon Prince. Like,
oh man, I was hoping for like a Troll Hunter situation where it's like the same universe, but different.
That's what everyone thought at first. It'd be like Troll Hunters, or it'd be but I assume there's a reason why they said it's like 3 series. Maybe there's a time skip, maybe there's like a different major villain or something, or there's a huge shift in the world. But really, I would say just ignore that. And it's 7. They're planning on 7 seasons of the Dragon Prince. The upcoming season is season 3, Sun. And also they said basically that the next 4 seasons have not been greenlit yet by Netflix, is what it sounded like to me. So, tell your friends, etc. I think probably it's going to continue past this, but, this is the type of show that really cannot be canceled early because they're building towards some big ending. So really hope we get the last 4 seasons as well.
Although, on another reasoning you could put here is that they make it so that if they get canceled there, it's like, okay, it's a satisfying ending, and like the rest would have been a new series. So I wonder if it's also a situation that's kind of like hedging bets almost.
Yeah, that I also had that thought. This is complete speculation, but I agree that I think they may have restructured the series so that they think they're like, oh, Netflix hasn't greenlit us yet. Previously they greenlit us way ahead of time, so maybe they're going to cancel the show. So we're going to make it so this is like the planned 3-season thing. We'll have a plan for the next 2 series, which we could do in the future or something. I think that this could be a hedge, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. New series here, Undone, Alex.
Yeah, we have Kate Purdy and Raphael Bob Waxberg of BoJack Horseman fame have this new show done in rotoscope style that's going to air on Amazon Prime. I think this is like the first show on Amazon Prime that I'm actually interested in. And at their panel at San Diego Comic-Con, it was announced that the first season will be 8 episodes. They aired the first 2 at Comic-Con. We got a new preview clip, which is basically an extended scene from the first episode, it seems. Not too much new if you've already seen the first trailer that came out a couple of weeks ago, but it's still very... The descriptions that we got out of the panel of the episodes are just very hype inducing in terms of how compelling those first 2 episodes are, and especially if you've watched BoJack Horseman, you know that crew's capability for telling interesting stories. So that combined with this unique art style is definitely something that I'm looking forward to, and the panel, the news coming out of the panel definitely helped a lot in keeping that hype up, even though we still have no date on it.
Yeah, no date yet, but apparently it's soon. They showed the first 2 episodes, so it can't be too far away. Also, Kate Purdy just wrote the best episodes of BoJack as well. Like, this I've been so hyped for Undone. And I think actually seeing footage from it and reactions from people at this is a show you should be as hype about as Infinity Train, in my opinion. Like, these are the 2 big ones this year, especially. Like, there's also a lot of other cool stuff coming, but, so these 8 episodes, this is going to be like, a big event for me whenever these come out. Who knows though when it's coming out? Mm-hmm. Okay, so from Undone to another upcoming show, The Owl House. We got this upcoming Disney show. We believe it won't be until next year. They showed the intro for The Owl House. That is online. Go watch this intro. I really like the intro. It's very witch schooly. For me, reminiscent of Little Witch Academia a lot, but I think it's really great visuals. I like the witchy music behind it. Music is done apparently by TJ Hill, who also does this Amphibia theme and score, I believe. The
Amphibia intro was shown at last year's San Diego Comic-Con, and then it came out just this year. So
that's Disney's move, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of the Owl House intro, Alex?
I was fine with it. I wouldn't have been able to guess that it's the same person who did Amphibia because it feels very different of a vibe. But the animation is very impressive. There's especially that part where the main character is flying on a broom through the city, and it's at a certain bent angle, and just flying through. It's very smooth, and so just still I feel like every time I bring up Owl House, I say I still don't know anything about the show, so I'm not sure how to feel about it. And I still feel like I don't really know anything about it, but it's coming.
Yeah, they really have not released much, and the visuals of the intro are fantastic. The music I think is less notable than the Amphibia one, but I do think it fits the vibe of what they're going for, basically. So a lot of people are very excited about Owl House just because magic shows, magic school stuff, people are really into that. So looking forward to that probably next year. RWBY, they did have a panel Thursday, but we basically got everything we got at RTX earlier, when it was announced that Volume 7 would be coming in November. The only thing new is that we got a specific date, is that it's on November 2nd. So, yay, the earliest possible November date for RWBY Volume 7. They also had new outfits and stuff. This is at RTX though, not this con. So check out all their new outfits, and it's actually a lot of hype for this season of RWBY, and now that RWBY's actually good. So, yay, November 2nd, it's coming.
Another good show, OKKO. It's been on a real upswing lately. Check out our podcast on that. But the interesting news coming out from San Diego Comic-Con is that OKKO is well known for their predilection for crossovers, and this year we are getting a crossover with Sonic the Hedgehog. They released a clip of KO meeting Sonic and Tails. They don't talk in the clip, but it was announced later that Roger Craig Smith and Colleen O'Shaughnessy will be providing voices for that, and that'll come August 4th. So that's an episode that's going to be in this final season of OKKO, Sonic crossover. Ian Jones-Quartey has history with Sonic. He's animated on Sonic Mania before, and if you follow him on Twitter, he retweets a lot of Sonic stuff. So it seems that that's just something that the crew is fans of for a while. So I imagine they're very happy to finally get him into the show. And I am interested because honestly, their crossover episodes are never fail to be entertaining. So I'm happy to see this happen.
He tweeted, "OKKO Sonic real." I think this is the third biggest news out of Comic-Con behind Steven Universe and Rick and Morty. Is what Sonic is on OKKO? I'm gonna watch this. I'm not caught up on this show. I'm watching Sonic on this is crazy. I'm seeing a lot of traction for this Sonic appearance. People love Sonic.
Well, look, we have that movie coming out, and it kind of sullied his reputation. So go back to his roots, as just a simple animated character. It was a lot of fun, not having thick legs. I think that's the key.
The teeth isn't the.
Yeah, the teeth also.
Yeah, okay. Well, they're redesigning him though. It's fine. We don't know it yet, but it's fine. This will be better probably than the Sonic movie. Yeah, that'll be the everyone's take, right? Is
Yeah.
Okay, looking forward to Sonic. Young Justice, big news here at the DC Universe panel late last night on Saturday night. Everyone was closely paying attention to the DC Universe panel, right? Where it was announced that season 4 of Young Justice has been ordered and is confirmed. This was very much Young Justice was revived for this one Young Justice Outsiders season 3. Would they give it another season? This is one of my biggest questions coming to Comic-Con. It's here. Season 4 is coming. They're already writing it. They said, they said some stuff involving it's more character focused, new characters, a smaller group of core characters. Yeah, right to that last one. That's not happening. But, and they showed next week's episode, but, we'll see it on Tuesday. So whatever. The Outsiders is airing now. But season 4 Young Justice is coming. And for fans that waited 10 years for season 3, this is very exciting news.
And, it's going to HBO Max. Is that correct?
The real answer is yes. They didn't say that, but
Okay.
DC Universe is dying, so like clearly it's going to go to HBO Max, but they do not seem to want to say that at the Comic-Con. So, probably it will be on HBO Max in late 2020 or 2021. I don't know how long it'll take. We'll see.
Okay. Over in DuckTales, I think that for a certain corner of animation fans, DuckTales might have been the biggest panel just because of every time DuckTales announces news, it's like, hey, we're bringing back these characters from your youth and putting them in our show. And then like the nostalgia kicks in and it's great for them. In this year's edition, Daisy Duck is going to show up in the show. Also Goofy, they're going to somehow work him in. We got Rosalind from Tailspin, the Chippendales, Gophers. They also released a mid-season trailer, which includes the return of Magica, also a villain team up led by Lomgold. That should be very entertaining. But I think the biggest news is that we're getting more characters into the DuckTale universe, as if it wasn't already packed enough. So, me personally, I don't have a connection to the 90s, so it's hard for me to be very excited about this, but I know for them, my co-host Steve was very excited to finally get Daisy Duck in here. So, definitely, this is big news for some people.
Yeah, I don't know any of what any of you just said means. This is the one show I had no idea what's going on, but I know who Goofy is, so that's exciting.
Wow.
That's exciting.
You don't know who Daisy Duck is?
Barely.
Donald's girlfriend or something, right?
Yeah, okay. But I agree though. There's a certain subsection of people that DuckTales is like one of their favorite shows, and this is they always like bring out the big news in terms of all these recurring characters. So that's really exciting. Craig of the Creek, not too much here. They previously announced it had been renewed for season 3. They showed there's a clip online from this upcoming season 3, and there'll apparently be new episodes all throughout August, which is not the batch we just podcasted on. So there'll be more Craig the podcast on to come.
So much stuff in August.
Yeah, well, we'll wait till the end of August. I mean, they'll probably drop it at the beginning just to make it hard for us. But yeah, so more Craig coming. Very exciting there. Transitioning into quick hits, because the Craig stuff was also at the panel where they also had new clips from Summer Camp Island, Victor and Valentino, Mau Mau, and Apple and Onion. Those are all on the Cartoon Network YouTube. The Summer Camp Island one, most notable to me, is not from the batch that was released now. It's from an upcoming episode, Molar Moles. But the rest of all these are in Cartoon Network's YouTube. It was at their like annual creators Comic-Con panel. We also at that panel saw clips from Tig and Seek and the Fungies upcoming Cartoon Network series that were recently announced.
I've been seeing a lot of support online for the Fungies. It seems to have like a lot of people popular in the animation Twitter, so I saw the trailer. It's like it looks cute. It looks weird. So there's something there that I'll keep an eye if people keep talking about it.
Yeah, I'm seeing some hype for the Fungies as well. Both of these shows, and Mau Mau's very recently released, and Apple and Onion recently renewed, and Victor and Valentino is still throughout its first season. A lot of exciting stuff there. But I mean, there's a lot on Cartoon Network, so yeah, we'll check all that on the CN YouTube. Quickly moving through some other sporadic animation news. Primal, the upcoming Gennady,
Gendy Tartakovsky.
Okay, yeah, there you go. He's the Samurai Jack guy, right? There you go.
Wow. Not the Hotel Transylvania 3 guy?
Not Hotel Transylvania 3, no, unfortunately. His new show, Primal, had a panel, and all I know about it was there's a clip from it. It's coming in the fall, but the clip has, like, dinosaurs violently fighting each other. Yeah. I don't know. Go check out the clip. It's like, is this what the show is about? That's interesting. There's a caveman there, too.
I don't know if this has actually been confirmed, but I keep hearing that this is going to be like a totally silent show, like no dialogue. And I'm just like so intrigued by like how you're going to keep up a show like that. With clips like this, like I can sort of see the appeal, but like I just want to see how that goes. Like, how do you talk about a show that just has no talking?
That would make me watch it if it was totally silent. So I'm in on that. Well, there's the one BoJack Horseman episode that's totally silent, right?
Right.
Yeah, then that was fantastic. I would believe it from this clip because it's really just dinos fighting. I was like, what? This is the clip you're showing off? Okay. So we'll see about Primal, but it's coming soon. So excited for Primal.
I mean, it was pretty well animated.
It was very well animated for sure. Yeah, I think people are going to be excited for that one. Another very exciting announcement late last night was this new, the first animated series coming to the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What If?
This is the biggest news coming out of the Marvel panel, right?
My biggest news. I mean, also, Natalie Portman is Thor. That's big. But what if is there's actually that's like the biggest Comic-Con panel, I think. But for our purposes, it's what if ... That's a great title. Thank you. And, it's kind of hard to understand what this is. So it's coming summer 2021 to Disney Plus. We know that Jeffrey Wright's going to be on there as the Watcher. Also, like 25 other MCU people are coming back. And, I think alternate universe, explore alternate stories, like what if Thanos joined the Avengers? So I think this is like AU MCU stuff that is going to be a what's the word
anthology,
an anthology series, right? Like
yeah.
I think it's going to focus on a different character every time. Our Marvel expert Sarah Potter is very excited for the show, so that bodes well. I mean, I was like, what is this? But if it's an anthology MCU animated series, I'm in on that. That sounds fantastic. Like a lot of big name actors showing up randomly. I'm always in for an animated anthology series, much like Love, Death, and Robots we got this year.
I think that something like this could be very interesting to see how much they're willing to experiment with their characters, especially like in this age of Marvel where like we're finally beginning to get like some LGBT representation. We're beginning to get more people of different ethnicities representation. We got like Shang-Chi announced as well as a movie. So like, I think that for like having it as an animated series and be able to bounce from character to character, it'll be interesting to see how much they're willing to go out with, because there's so much potential for to use the MCU like this and kind of an alternate thing. So putting it in an animated series, I think also gives you a lot more flexibility as well. So I'm excited to see, because I think that there's a lot of potential in like how much you can do with that.
Yeah, I agree. Basically infinite potential for like a blank slate MCU anthology series. Not coming until 2021 though, so we'll have to wait a little bit on this one, but very exciting news there. Archer, that's a show we haven't talked about on this podcast in a while, but people thought Archer would stop at season 10. But no, you were wrong. It got renewed for season 11. And this is notable because the last time when I stopped watching Archer, was Archer fell into a coma, and then they spent the next like 4 seasons doing different genres where Archer, it's like all takes place in Archer's head, and so they just do a different genre every season. And some people like it, some people don't like it. I stopped watching. It's not necessarily specifically because of that device. It's more just like, it's been going on for a while. But apparently in season 11, Archer will finally wake up from this coma, and it will actually be real life Archer again. So that's notable. I think that'll get some people back to see what happens here.
Will it get you back? Will you wake up from your Archer fandom coma?
I did see him go into the coma, and then it's like, maybe, it might make sense for me to at least watch that first episode. The creator is also like leaving this season. I think he's involved in some capacity, so we'll see. But I don't know. I might check out an episode. Yeah. I did the first, at the very least, the beginning of Archer is fantastic. Obviously. Okay. New series we knew about, Star Trek Lower Decks is a first Star Trek and the first animated series coming to CBS All Access. First like Star Trek animated. I don't know if that's true, but, we got the, first images and the cast from this. This is created by Rick and Morty head writer Mike Mikahan. Set in the year 2380, the show will follow a group of low-level crew members aboard the USS Cerritos, and the cast includes Tawny Newsome, Jack Quaid, Noel Wells, and Eugene Cordero. So, first of all, Rick and Morty head writer, that's great. I think the first images from this actually look promising. Just the concept of like, this is, we're going to do an animated comedy about like the unimportant people in the Star Trek universe. Like, I think that's like a really good idea. Like, the zany misadventures of unimportant Star Trek people. You could do the same thing with Star Wars, I feel like. I think this, actually could be good. So this is, coming up next year, I think.
Noelle Wells voices Kelsey on Craig of the
Yes.
Creek, so that's our connection.
It's a good cast. Tanya Newsom's great. We're I think promising show here, so we'll see. I also always in favor of more adult animation as well.
I'm interested to see how adult it gets because, like as you said, it's the head writer of Rick and Morty, and like Rick and Morty is like the peak of sci-fi animation right now. So wondering how much of that vibe carries over to something as established as Star Trek.
Yeah, I think probably Star Trek. I'm not a Trekkie, but my impression is it's not super inappropriate. So I don't think that the show probably would be. But if it did, it would be like jarring, and that would be potentially interesting. So we'll see. Speaking of very adult, at that DC Universe panel, we got the first episode they showed. They've not online of the upcoming Harley Quinn series. I think she's voiced by Kaylee Cuoco. And there's a trailer online for the upcoming Harley Quinn series. If you're thinking like a Harley Quinn, the whole show about Harley Quinn, I think I know what that trailer is. You would be exactly correct. So you could go look for that. I'm not super interested, but yeah, that's coming up.
I will say, I think this is probably a theme with DC shows, but that trailer had like so many different characters in it. I feel like Harley Quinn was only in it for half of the trailer. Like there's a bunch of like other people floating around. So like I'm just a little, I guess like if you're a big DC fan, that's good, but also it's like, why is like Aquaman in this show? It feels like you're really squeezing in everybody there.
Yeah, they can't help themselves. So go watch Young Justice if you like that. And this morning I saw the news about the upcoming Netflix series Seis Manos. His opening title sequence is out. You can look for that. I think it looks pretty interesting. It's from new company, I think Viz Media and Powerhouse, which does the Castlevania show on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Set in Mexico in the 1970s, Seis Manos centers on three orphan martial arts warriors who joined forces with a DEA agent and Mexican Federal to battle for justice after their beloved mentor is murdered on the streets in their tiny border town.
Described as another edition in Netflix's anime collection, even though it's not.
It is outside of the U.S. Part joint Mexico production. That's exciting.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. That's
I think Viz Media is in Mexico, or at least some people on the show are in Mexico. I don't know, but that's at least it's set in Mexico. Isn't it? I don't know. This at least this is distinctive, right? Like so I don't know. I didn't really know it existed until this morning, but this is potentially interesting. And then we'll close on the Russo brothers had like their own panel. It was a little bit conceited if you ask me, but they had we learned before about the upcoming Magic the Gathering animated series that they're going to be executive producing, not creating. And they said something about Jason Chandra. I am a Magic fan, even though I'm on a break from playing, and I do not want the show focusing on Jace. Get him out of here. This is not optimistic. I do love Chandra though, so we'll see. But yeah, that's coming up. No real details on the Magic show. Okay, Alex, anything else or final Comic-Con thoughts?
Comic-Con is basically, you know how like when you're a sports fan and like when you get to the free agency period and there's like a bunch of transactions going on and like people changing places and getting big news. It's just news there. Comic-Con is like the equivalent of that, where it's just like news all over the place of stuff that you care about, and trailers here, cast announcements there. So I think that San Diego Comic-Con is just great for like that side of me that just like enjoys like hearing stuff being announced. There's something interesting about that. And so like it gets me hyped for a lot of these shows. I love hearing about the new shows that are coming out, like especially like Undone and Undone is the big new show. The Owl House also got some new stuff here. So just being able to know ahead of time what I can look forward to as an animation fan is just very comforting in a way. So San Diego Comic-Con is one of my favorite times of the year, and I'm happy that we got a lot to talk about here.
Yeah, a lot to talk about as usual. It was very exciting. A lot of news we broke down here. Let us know what you thought was the big thing you were most hyped for. Comments with Discord, overlyanimated.com/Discord. YouTube comments, youtube.com/overlyanimated. You can also support us via Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to our current patrons, especially our Patreon podcast, Rachel, aka Rachel Rose, and thanks as always to our patron executive producers, Ryan, Steve, Alex, Beatrice, you, and Michael. Yeah, check out our Infinity Train podcast if you are interested in the Infinity Train news and you watch episode 1. Also, a lot of these other shows we talk about at overlyanimated.com. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.